Hello and welcome to Mrs. G's Art Channel. Today we are going to create a beach scene in dots. For this you will need your trusty pencil, some thick paper or cardboard to work on, something to put your paints on, thick paints in blue, red, green, yellow and white, and something to create dots with. A cotton bud is best, but if you haven't got it, you could put some tissue around the end of a paintbrush, or you could use the end of a felt tip. And of course, always wear an overall, protect the surface you're working on, and have a wet cloth available in case you get mucky fingertips. Now, if you haven't got any paints, you could be doing this on a smaller scale with your felt tips. For inspiration today, we are going to look at the artwork of George Seurat, who invented the style called Pointillism with his friend Paul Signac. And instead of blending colours together in a paint palette, so there I've blended blue and yellow to make green, he would use each colour separately and put it on the page in dots. And you can actually do this with your finger as well, like that. And then when you stand back at a distance and look at his work, the two colours that he's put on the page blend together with your eyes to form the green he wanted. Let's take a closer look at his artwork. Here you see his first painting, Bathers at Asnières. It shows a riverside scene in Paris with isolated figures, their clothes piled on the riverbank, together with trees, walls and buildings edging on the horizon, and the River Seine running through it. George has applied his red, blue, yellow, green and white dots really carefully to get the colours he wanted when you stand back and look at it. But if you look really closely at his painting, you can still see each individual dot painted on it. Amazingly, it's over 1 metre wide and took George a whole year to create this masterpiece, painting every day. Can you believe that this artwork was actually rejected from a major exhibition in Paris because it was too modern, too colourful and not at all the style they were used to? At the time, they were painting very dark portraits of important people and places. His next and possibly most famous masterpiece was this, a Sunday afternoon on the island of La Grande Jatte. It shows lots of Parisians at a park on the banks of the River Seine. This is a huge painting, the size of a minivan, only about 1 metre taller. Can you guess how long it would take to paint something with that many dots? It took him 2 whole years. Today, we are going to be doing a beach scene in the style of Seurat, and here you can see some of the beach paintings which he produced. He was particularly fond of the rough seas and rugged shorelines of northern French coast. Time to do your own artwork. But to achieve that, you need to dig out your own photographs of beaches or Google some. I found these in my photograph album. That's a nice one of the Scilly Isles. Or maybe this coastline in Cuba. Not that one, Mrs. G. And that's a nice one of Brighton Pier. And an even nicer one from a tropical island. Or a beautiful sunset. Let's prepare a quick sketch marking out simple shapes and areas for different colours. I really liked the tropical beach picture, so that's the one I'm working with. First of all, I draw on the horizon. I put the things in the distance in first, so I'm drawing in the bushes and trees in the background, and then sketching in the clouds in the sky, as you can see here. Keep it really simple. Draw in some curving parallel lines for different shades of blue and green in the sea. And then when you've got the sea sorted and the background, you can draw the foreground items. So here you can see me drawing in the palm tree that's leaning in from the side of the page. Add a shadow to your palm tree to make it look attached to the ground and appear a sunny day. It's good to add a point of interest to a painting, so I'm adding a red yacht to my picture. It's important to avoid small shapes in this picture because they will be hard to fill with dots. Now we're ready to squeeze out a small amount of our 5 colours and start filling in our picture with dots. Try to let the colours dry a bit in between so that they're not mixing on the page too much. I've put cotton wool on the end of pencils to do my dots. It helps to moisten the end of your dotting stick to make it more absorbent for the paint. Then get started, and I always recommend palest colours first. Blue next, because I need to outline the tree and the clouds and make sure that the horizon is clear. Then I added white dots to create paler shades of blue in the sea and the sky, and filled in the clouds with it too. Don't forget to add white to your yellow beach too, so that you've got paler, brighter patches in the sunshine. Add green to your water and to your sky so that it appears as if you have different shades of blue when you stand back at a distance. And then, of course, continue to fill in your palm tree with your green. Build up the palm tree trunk in red and then add red to the shadows on the beach and develop it further with blues to create apparently darker shades of brown from a distance. Darken the horizon with a little green and possibly even some red too, and then add a few little curving dotty lines to represent waves. Add blues and reds to your palm trees and the trees and bushes on the horizon too for a little interest, and later on add some yellow to brighten it up. All that remains is to add in your lovely red yacht. If you have a white boat, you'll need to make the sea darker around it too, so that it shows up on the water. So here you can see the finished product. If you come up close, you can see all the dots separately, and you can see the reds and the blues I'm trying to use to make the palm tree look a bit brown on the stem. And then as I come away, all of the dots blend together and start forming other colours in your eyes. Golds and oranges and browns and different shades of green. I hope you enjoyed our Pointillist art session today, and if you did, please like it, share it and subscribe to my YouTube channel. See you again soon.